Hello everyone, welcome to Code with Raj. So today we will be continuing with our top interview 150 series. Our next question is best time to buy and sell stock. So let us read the question once. You are given an array prices where prices I is the price of given stock on the ith day. You want to maximize your profit by choosing a single day to buy one stock and choosing a different day to sell future stock. Return the maximum profit you can achieve from this transaction. If you cannot achieve any profit, return zero. Okay. So basically what this question is saying is if you have ever heard of how this investment thing works, what we do is to gain profit we buy a stock, suppose at day 1, suppose its price is 5 rupees, and at day 5 the price went to 10 rupees, then we sell it, so our net profit would be 10 minus 5, 5 rupees. So what we have to do in this question is also the same thing. We have given an array, basically the array index represent the ith day, and they want us to find a particular day where we buy the stock and a particular day where we sell the stock, so that our profit is maximized, because obviously if you want to invest you want to maximize your profit. Okay, so let us try to see the first test case. uh yeah, 715364. So what we could do is we could buy on this day and we could sell on this day, so our net profit would be 6 minus 1, which would be 5. So what is the strategy? Like, you need to buy at a particular day where the price is lowest, and you need to try and sell at a particular day where the price is highest. But one thing you need to see is, if you buy on ith day, you need to sell on a day y such that y is greater than I. I guess you are understanding what I'm saying, because if you buy, suppose if you buy stock on day 2, you cannot sell it on day 1. You need to sell it on a day which is further than 2 only, like 3, 4, 5, something like that. So this is a thing that we need to keep in mind. So like, what is the most basic, or you can say naive approach you can think of this solution is, basically, like, we could start from every index, and what we could do is we could find any element which is greater than this. Like, what is the maximum element after this, because the profit would be maximum if we sell at the point where the price is maximum. Suppose we buy at the day, let us give this as index 1 2 3 4 5 6. We buy on day 1, so we need to find another day greater than 1 such that the price is maximum on that day, but there are no days, so our profit will remain 0 only. Like, current profit will be 0 and our maximum profit will also be 0 here. Now we move on to next index 2, and we see further that what is the maximum element next. So 6, so 1 minus 6 will be 5. Our current profit will become 5 and maximum will also become 5. We move on to next day 5. Now after 5 we need to find the largest element, which is 6. So 6 minus 5 is 1. Our current profit will be 1, but our max will not change because the profit has not increased yet. Now we'll move on to the next index 4. So we see that our selling price is 3, and after that the maximum after after the fourth day is at the fifth day, which is 6. So 6 minus 3, current profit will become 3, but our maximum will not change because 5 is greater than 3. Now we move on to the next index or the next day. We see that the buying price is 6. Now we find another day to sell, but we see since the maximum number is 4, which is less than 6, so we cannot sell on this day. Our current profit will be 0 and our maximum won't be updated. At last, we only have 1 day left. We need to end the loop here because we cannot find a day where we could sell the stock. So this was the approach that I was telling. Let's try to have a pseudocode for this so that you can understand. So basically what we are doing, we are starting a loop for int I is to suppose arr, and we are finding the max element after ARR. So let me erase everything once. Yes. So for int I is equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So you are finding the max element after the ith index. So what you could do is, let's this represent the max element. It would be max of ARR dot begin plus the ith index comma error dot end, because you want to find after that ith index. So this will return that value, and at last your current profit would be maximum of 0, because the profit cannot be less than 0, maximum of 0 comma this difference, which is x minus error I. And at last, for maximum profit, what you can do is maximum profit would be equal to max of current comma max profit, and at last just return max profit. So this was a very simple approach, but the problem with this approach is we are, for every element we are computing this max. So like for every n element we are trying to compute this max, and this also takes big of n time. So big of n into n, which is big of n square roughly, not exactly but roughly big of n square, because this won't run for n times every iteration. But this is very slow because in the test case we are given that the value of n is around 10 to power 5. So 10 power 5 square is 10 power 10, which won't pass. So if this question comes in an interview, the interviewer will expect a solution which runs in big of n or big of n log n, uh, less than big of n square basically. So we need to develop an approach such that we optimize our solution. So let us try developing approach. Again, we should take that solution. So assume you do not know like what is coming at the rest of the array. Suppose you are at day one only. You do not know that what are the prices next day. But at day one, what you can do, if you haven't bought the stock until, you need to buy at least. So suppose you buy on day one. Okay. So we start from here. You buy on day one and your price was 7. And what you need to do is you need to sell on particularly next day only. Suppose you are trying to particularly sell on next day, but you will not sell because obviously the price is low and you will not have any profit. So was it better to buy on day one or was it better to buy on day two? When you came to day two, you realized that it was always better to buy the stock on day two because at that point the price was minimum. So what we would do is we would create a pointer called buy initialized with the first value error dot front, and if we found that a desirable value which is coming next is low, we will update that value. So buy would be updated to 1, or what you could say is like it should be the minimum value, minimum of buy comma arr I, so that we have the minimum value where we need to buy, and we would try to sell at each particular index and see that what is the maximum profit we can make. Basically this approach is we are trying to sell at ith day and we are keeping the minimum value of the stock in a pointer which was coming previous. So we are trying to use our past to benefit in our future. So at every index which we are considering as the day, we will see that what is the minimum previous value, so that if we sell the stock at this particular day, our profit would be maximum or not. So we will come here at day 3 and our minimum was 1 still, because max minimum of 5 and 1 is 1. At day 3 we found that 3 minus 1 current profit is 2, which is current profit is 2, and then we come here 6 and again we compute the minimum. 1 and 3 minimum is 1, so again our buy value still remains as 1 and we compute the profit 1 comma 6, which is 5. This will be our maximum profit achieved. Then we come to 4. Again we compute the minimum, we like compute the profit using the minimum value. 4 minus 1 is 3. Again our profit would be 3, which is less than the maximum value, so our maximum won't change, and at last we could just return the answer. So this will be the approach that we would be following. I think if I write the code, you will explain it better what I'm trying to say. So let us jump onto the code editor and start writing code for it. So let's create a variable n for the size of the array. This is our pointer which will be pointing to the first element of the array. And then what we would do is for int I is equals to 1, because we cannot sell on day 0. If we haven't bought anything, how can we sell? Okay, so I less than I plus plus. So what we would do is, what will be our current profit? Int current profit would be equals to maximum of 0 comma prices I minus error I. Oh, sorry, y. The point where we are selling and what was our cost price. Okay, and next we will have a variable max profit, max p, let us call it as max profit is equals to maximum of max profit comma current profit. Okay, and At last we need to update our buy variable also, because we need to store the minimum possible value behind the selling point. Buy comma price is I, and at last we would just return the max profit. And here we would initialize our max profit to be 0, because the minimum answer we could return is 0, which is the worst case, where the array is sorted in non-decreasing order. Because if you buy at any point, you have to sell it further, and you will not find any point which is greater than your buying price. I guess everything is fine. Let us try to run this once. So you can see that it got accepted. So let us submit the solution. Yeah, first let's see what is the time complexity. So since we are doing this in one pass, so big of and time complexity, and we are not using any extra space, only two variables. So big of constant extra space, big of one extra space. So this is the most optimal solution for this question. Let us try to submit this now. So you can see this got passed. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to press the like and subscribe button, and please leave your feedback in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.